Hello, everyone. Welcome to my first video and my first review of bourbon. And welcome to my channel, Bourbon Neophyte. So I picked up this bottle a little bit ago, as you saw in the title. We're talking about some Wilderness Trail Bottled and Bond. Tell you what, I wasn't pleased with this at first, and as you can tell, I've had a drop or two out of this bottle. But it has turned out to be a terrific bottle. I mean, really, really good juice in here. If you don't know anything about this Wilderness Trail, they make a few different expressions. Price range on this particular bottle is about the $50 range. I've seen it at about $46. I've seen it as high as about $55. It just depends on where you are and where you go when you go to pick this up. But I'm telling you, it's 100 proof, bottled and bond, at least 4 years old. This is some really good juice. When I look in here at this, I know you can't see it, but when I look in here at this, I can actually see some of the char from the barrel in there because it's non-chill filtered, which I love. I'll read the mash bill for you. It's made locally from sourced grains from an old traditional mash bill of 64% corn, 24% wheat, 12% malted barley. It's made in a copper pot, distilled from a single fermented batch using our sweet mash process, put into the barrel at least 110 proof. So they proof it down to get to the 100, but they put it in at least 110 proof. 100 proof for me is like my sweet spot. To me, I like that. I don't mind lower proof bourbons. The 80 proofs, no, it's not so much my forte. Don't really like those. They're good. I sometimes will start off with a lower proof. Generally, it's 90 for me. When I start off with something, maybe 95, and I'll work my way up to 100, 116, and go from there. It just depends on the day. But we're going to talk a little bit more about this Wilderness Trail. I think it's a great bourbon, great taste. I've talked to a few different people about this. Bourbon Battalion I've talked to people on another channel, Scotch Down Under. Talked to him about it. I've showed this on their channel. Live Wire Whiskey is another one that I've talked about this and said, hey, you guys got to try this. It's pretty darn good. Ooh, listen to that cork pop. And if you notice, this isn't real cork. It's one of the synthetic ones. You're going to hear people talk about, oh, I prefer regular cork. Oh, I prefer synthetic. Or they're going to say, oh, the synthetic cork has a flavor, whatever. I don't know. I'm a newbie. Not newbie as so much as drinking like you all are, but I'm a newbie at really experiencing the different complexities in bourbons, in whiskeys, and in scotches. Although I've been drinking different beverages for a long time. But now as I've gotten older, I just appreciate the spirits for the craft that went into making it and the flavors that are in them. But I don't care if it's a synthetic cork or if it's a true cork. I don't buy into that one's better than the other. It is what it is. I haven't experienced any taste different. So that being said, let's move on to the most important thing, and that's a pour. Pour myself a small little drop here of this delicious juice. I can smell it right now. You know, you'll hear a lot of people, those of you that may have not be so much into bourbons and the different notes and stuff on it, but it has a very nice color to it. And if you don't know, this is a Glencairn. It's a type of a whiskey glass that's designed to really complement the whiskey so you can really experience the different notes, smells that are in these different types of bourbons. And I'm not great at picking them out. You'll hear people say, oh, it's vanilla, it is brown sugar, it's chocolate and honey and dark cherries or dark fruits, or you'll hear, oh, this is creme brulee. Oh, this is French toast. Really? Yeah, it gets way out there. I'm not that good. But what I will tell you is if it's good, if it's bad, or if it's a drain pour for sure. But for me, I definitely smell sweetness. There's no way you can miss that on the nose, is there's a sweetness. Let it open up a bit in your glass. I find that almost anything that you pour, give it a minute to open up. Although, as you can see in this bottle, I have poured more than a few glasses into a Glencairn. But one thing I'll go over real quickly is neck pours. So when you first get a bottle and you do a pour, sometimes it's good, but it did knock your socks off. Well, let me just tell you, drink it down to the shoulder at least, then give it some time to open up in the bottle. Maybe 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, pour yourself another drop and compare that. Most of the time, not every time, but most of the time, you definitely will get an improvement. And then as time goes by, it gets better. Some are just naturally good. From that first neck pour drop that you take and you put in your glass, you get it. It is just fantastic. Causes your toes to curl up. And I mean, it's just wonderful. And you want more and more and more. Yeah, don't I know that? But, you know, I'm smart. I'll say I'm getting some like caramel or some sugar on here. So as it opens up in the glass here, as I'm talking to you, I'm just going to tell you it's good. It's worth the money. It's worth the investment. They have other expressions, but we're going to go through this and I'm going to tell you that it smells fantastic. And I'm sure the taste is that way. And I can guarantee you it is because I've tried it. Mm. Just sweetness. Sweetness is the first thing I get. Bit of that hug as it goes down. Some people call it the Kentucky hug. You get a little bit of that hug going down because it's 100 proof. Actually, my first sip of the day. But the legs on this, when you swirl it around and you watch it, and you watch the little legs come off of this thing and come down, it's slow. So you know it's viscous. So it's not thin and it's not watery. And it has a slight oily texture in the mouth. And the finish, by no way is it a long finish, nor is it a short finish. It definitely has a little spice to it, like you would if you ever tried a rye. It is not overpowering. It is not strong by any means. It is a great sipper. As a matter of fact, let me get that second sip because now that my palate has had a second to, oh, hey, know what you're drinking. Now the second sip generally is way better. Mm. Yeah, definitely the sweetness. Definitely a good mouthfeel. It is no way watery. No way watery. It sticks with you a minute. Oh, yeah. And now when you go back and nose your glass, I'm definitely picking up more caramel and vanilla on here. So if you ever smelled those things, and I know you have, after you have your first sip, generally will bring that note out. Whether it's vanilla, whether it be a caramel, a fruit, like a dark cherry. When you have that and you take that sip, yeah, you definitely get that. And then you start to make that connection. So when you're new to bourbon or whiskey or scotch, one of the ways you develop your palate and you know what you like or what you don't like is by having these sips. And then as you have it, and you might hear somebody say, oh, that tastes like vanilla, or that tastes like butterscotch, or that tastes like caramel or fruits or French toast. And you sip it and go, oh, I can see that. So I personally, when I get a bottle, I don't want to generally hear what other people have to say. I want to experience that first glass for myself. I want to pour it. I want to let it open up for a little bit in the glass. I want to nose it, as ADHD whiskey would say, make it dizzy, give it another nosing. I don't know why, but butterscotch all of a sudden popped in there. But this is nothing unusual. Notes change, flavors change. As you drink it, as you experience it, as it opens up, it changes. I got to have another sip. I'm just telling you, it's good. In my opinion, it is a definite buy. It is definitely worth the $50 price tag that they have on it. The distillery is in Danville, Kentucky, if you want to look it up, Wilderness Trail. They make a couple of other products, bourbons and so on and so forth. They have a rye. Look them up. I really truthfully think that you're going to like this, and will tell you to give it a try. Really, really good. So I'm going to end this and say, hey, if you like this video being my first one, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe and like button, and look forward to seeing you again on my next videos, having a chat with you on some of the live streams when I get some of the people on and we're going to interview and talk about different things on there. Join me in the journey, just like I want to join you in yours, and let's discuss some bourbon. Cheers, everyone.